So we talked about creating that one destination. What does success look like? We talked about scenario planning and then looking at the alternatives. Next, what I want to encourage you to do is to set goals within your vision and set goals within your team, setting those scoreboards and making it real. Because sometimes we just keep doing the activities without thinking of what's at the end of the line. So I want to make the distinction between objectives and goals. Objectives are generic themes that support accomplishing the mission or support accomplishing your vision, and goals are specific and measurable in terms of moving the needle. So if you say, I want to lose weight is an objective, I want to lose 10 pounds is a goal. I want students to be happy is an objective. I want to have 90% student satisfaction. I want students to show up to class. I want to have 95% attendance. So it's the difference between objectives, which are open to interpretation, and goals, which are specific. Now, what's missing in there is the timeline, but what I encourage you to do is to put specific measurable goals within your plan so that everybody is rallied around a common scoreboard. It'll make it more specific, and it'll help everybody stay engaged towards accomplishing what you want to accomplish. Because if the only time you're going to celebrate success is at the end of the school year in May or June or July, then you're going to burn out because you're not going to have those short-term wins that you can actually succeed on. You're also not going to know where you need to input corrections and where you need to be able to make changes as you go through. Let's say 2 or 3 months from now, you're noticing that you have students being less engaged. Well, you want to figure out what that is and how to bridge the gap there, so that as you get into the tactics, you're going to be able to figure out what you need to do to move it forward. So objectives are good. You want to be able to have them to script, but then goals that are specific and measurable and time bound, moving from X to Y by date, are the thing that are actually going to help you be more effective, and it'll help you accomplish your goals, which will help you accomplish your one destination. And I find a lot of people use objectives because they're easier. The goals will make it real and will help you actually act on it and put stuff in place. So a way to look at this is have the objectives at the high end. What are the broad things that we're trying to do? And then what are those specific goals? Moving from X, which is where we are now, to Y by date, and having a couple of those, and then moving those forward in terms of tactics to support the strategic priority. So what are we going to do to move the needle and whatever you're tracking? It could be, like I said earlier, number of employee sick days, teacher sick days, number of TOC hours used, students healthy, obviously grades, if you're a charter school, revenue. What gets measured gets managed, and it's going to help you become more effective. It's going to help you lead. Now, a different approach to goal setting, which may be more relevant to you, is the balanced scorecard approach, which means that instead of just focusing on one thing, for most businesses, it's financial, but you actually focus on a couple different things in terms of learning and growth for your people, internal business processes, that's internal processes and systems, customer metrics and financial metrics. Again, whatever works best for you, but you have the objectives, the broad thing, how are you going to measure it, what is the target, and what is the action item that you're going to do. So it's slightly different than what I was sharing before, but it all ties into that one destination in the strategy. But I highly recommend that you put some sort of goals and some sort of measurement in your plan. And then from there, the easiest thing to do, and what you want to take away from today, is anything that you see to do, have it as a deliverable, have somebody responsible for it, have a date started and date completed to move it forward. So you want to have a structure to stay accountable to things so nothing like falls through the cracks, and you can stay on top of it. And as a leader, understand who's doing what and when, and it'll help everybody stay more engaged.